YouTube! 60% of you aren't subscribed. Please subscribe. Enjoy the video. Let's see what we got here, shall we? Top 3 beers. Number 1, a Sculpin IPA. The one with the orange fish on it. Number 2, get drunk. Guys, should I get drunk and then naked and run on camera and show my entire ass and then get banned? Isn't it crazy how different it is for me to say that as a woman? That's crazy. Sculpin IPA is my favorite beer. My second favorite beer, honestly, at this point in my life, is probably a Blue Moon Light Sky. I'm a huge fan. And then my third favorite, 805. I like me an 805. But that's only because that's only nostalgic. They're not that good. They're really not. White Claw? No. I will say when I was in college, White Claws became popular and it was kind of life-changing. I'm not going to say, I'm just going to talk. I am going to sing, but I'm not going to sing right now. I'm just going to talk right now.
Wow. Bud Light got snubbed.
Bud Lights are nasty, and they do, look, I love beer, right? I'm more of a beer person than any other alcohol, and I do think that Bud Lights taste like pee. Four Locos, one time when I was in college, my friend, shotgunned a Four Loko, a whole one, like the ones that are like in like the big cans. And I have never seen anyone projectile vomit like that in my life. It was crazy. He was standing a few feet from the toilet and he vomited and it went straight at the wall above the toilet. I've never seen anything like it. I didn't even know it was possible. It went in like a stream straight. It was crazy. I would die. Yeah, it was really bad. That's college, baby. I've told all these stories, but I'll tell them again. Let's see. Let's think of all the times that I've almost seen someone die. Number 1, I almost died. I almost died when I was the first time I learned how to ride an ATV. And I was going up a hill, a sand hill, and my sister was in front of me, and she stalled on the hill, and so to avoid hitting her, I swerved, but instead of swerving into the entire sand dune acreage on my left, I swerved right into the barbed wire fence, and instead of pressing the brake, I pressed the throttle. And so I went full throttle through the barbed wire fence, and my neck went in between 2 barbs, like 2 barbs on the fence, and I had like the worst burn on my neck for a month. It was crazy. That's when I almost died. When I was in school, I was at a house party, and this guy got super hammered. I still don't know if his name was Brendan or Brandon. And he was so drunk, they put him in a closet, which is insane, by the way. If you're in college, don't do that. And I heard coughing from the closet. I didn't know that they put him in there. And so I opened the door to the closet, and he's laying in the closet. It's like a walk-in closet, right? So he's on the floor. Laying on the floor on his back. And he had vomited, and he was taking the vomit and putting it in his hair. I still don't know why he was doing that, but that's what he was doing. He was just like putting it through his hair. And he had this super curly hair. And there was just vomit all over him and all in the closet and just like everywhere. So, a couple of his friends dragged him out, took his shirt off, and he had shorts on. They left those on. They dragged him into the shower, and they turned the shower on, and just let him, and he was just sitting there in the shower with water running, but like not moving, like basically passed out, just like sitting in the shower. And I was like, so are you guys gonna help him, or like, are you gonna let him, and they were like, we're not gonna touch him, because he's like covered in vomit. So I get in the shower with all my clothes on with this man, and I shampooed his hair, and got all the vomit out of his hair, and got all the vomit off of him, and faced him away from the shower so he wouldn't drown, and then put him in an actual bed. And the next morning, I still don't know his name, the next morning, he remembered, which is remarkable. And he was just like, thanks. And I was like, yeah. I hope you're okay today. And that was it. That was the last time I ever saw him. This one's really sad. I met a girl at a party once who was like the most drunk person I've ever seen in my life. Like just completely incoherent. Like couldn't look her in the eye, was unable to stand, let alone walk or anything. She was just absolutely, but she wasn't passed out. She was just that drunk. And I stayed with her that night, and the next morning as she was leaving the frat house, we both stayed at the frat house. The next morning she was leaving the frat house. There were beers. It was a party the night before, so there were like beers everywhere on the counters and stuff. She walked out and she went to each of the beers and killed him on her way out the door. And then she walked to another frat that was having a danger. It was like noon or something. Like she killed everyone's. They were just like beers that were there from the night before. That was really sad.
I wish I would have gone to college, Fields Bardman.
Is this making you want to go to college? I don't know. I don't know about that. That's how you drink cigarettes? Ugh. Oh my god. Ew. Ew. I broke a guy's heart that night at that frat party. This was, okay, mind you, this isn't my, I've already said this, I've been very open about this. I absolutely had a frat phase in college. Am I out of that phase now? Yeah. Am I out of that phase now? Yes. I run a nonprofit, right? I have my degree, I'm done. But I did have a frat phase. And I broke a guy's heart at that frat party, but it's actually dumb. I will stand by, I think it's insane. I still don't know his name. I never knew his name. I never asked for it. He never asked for mine. Wow. We danced. We made out in the backyard. I left, was just like doing my thing, and then I went in the house, and at some point later on that night I was making out with another guy, a different guy, and he lost it. He was like, "How could you do this to me?" Or he was like, "What the fuck? Like, how are you gonna do this in the same house?" And I was just like, "What?" Like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, that was rough. You betrayed him? Yeah. Yeah, it was rough, actually. That was a lot. Did he know your name? Nope. Don't think so. I don't remember. I don't think I told him my name. I don't remember. Frat parties or something else? Yeah. You ditched a dude and walked into some dude's garage or something? Oh. Yeah. That was a really bad idea. That night was actually bad. I went to this is so depressing. I was very depressed at this point in my life. I went to a frat party by myself, which is insane. Holy fuck, don't do that. Insane. I pre-gamed by myself at my house and then walked to a frat party by myself. Very sad. Like, genuinely really sad and scary. So I went to the party and I danced with this guy and I probably made out with him. I don't remember. And then he was like, he like whispered to me, he was like, do you want to get out of here? But I had never hooked up with anybody before. I had only been in a relationship of 5 years from high school. So it really scared me. And I was like, no. Or, okay, I said yes. He was like, do you want to get out of here? And I was like, yes. Because I was scared. And so I turned around and he put his hand out like he was like, I was going to put my hand backwards and he was going to like hold my hand while we walked through the crowd. But I just like ducked under someone that he couldn't go under because he was too tall. And he lost my hand and I weaseled my way out of there. And I was like, yeah, I'm getting out of here. Yes. And then I walked down the street by myself and he lost me at that point, right? Like he didn't know where I was. And I walked down the street and these guys, there were like 5 or 6 guys, they were smoking a hookah in their garage and the garage was open and I was just walking on the street and they were like, hey, you want to come hang out? And I was like, yeah. Wow. And I went in the garage where they were smoking a hookah and I sat with them on their freaking camping chairs inside the garage. And then once I sat down, they closed the garage. I'd never met these people. And I was like, oh no. And then nothing happened. Nothing bad happened. One of them asked me on a date, and I went on a date with him. It was not very good. And then he tried to kiss me when he dropped me off at home, and I turned my head, and he kissed me here, and then he never talked to me again. That's not true. I did talk to him again. Because he was posting on his Instagram story that he found a chameleon. And he's like, look at this crazy lizard. I've never seen one of these outside. Chameleons don't live in fucking California, right? And he's like documenting the story of him and his boys taking care of this chameleon. And he like pans to the kitchen. He's like, yo, like, what are we chefing up today? What are we chefing up for our boy? And his friend goes, apples. And he's like, yeah, motherfucking apples. And they try to feed the chameleon apples. Chameleons are insectivores. And so I messaged him and I was like, I will take that off your hands. And I took it and I brought it to the zoo. They're so, yeah, college boys. Good times.
We got a #1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down. 10 kills on the board right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town.
My friend just got down.
I revived him, now we're heading southbound. Now we're in the Pleasant Park Street.
Look at the map.
Go to the mark sheet.